Alright guys, what's up? Jan here from Automated Agency. So in this video I'll be building something live for you all so you can follow along and kind of learn my thinking process when I approach a project like this. So in this case what I'm building is a smartlead AI automated reply system. So basically what I want to do is I want to replace your typical appointment setter, your VA, whatever that you hired to reply to the emails, to kind of set things up. Maybe set up a call or have them try your software. I want to replace that by basically setting up an AI system. So I already did some minor prep, but most things I'll just be doing live and thinking about live and trying to get everything set up. So I have a rough idea how to do it, but yeah, I'll be figuring things out live. So this probably will be like a series. I think I'm just going to record until I hit a roadblock or whatever, and then we can. You can learn along and kind of see what I'm doing and get a gist of how to set up a system like this. And I might actually sell this in the end, like this system, or maybe I'll give it away for free. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, let's get into it. So my personal use case, I'm going to use it for my new software company called CCC Leads. So not for my agency, but for my software company. My agency already has some other systems set up for this. But I'm going to use it for that since it's a little bit of a low ticket item, 250 USD a month, and I don't really want to manage someone that's gonna follow up with these people, and I don't want to do a sales call either. So I just want to try and sell this right away and see if I can push a lot of volume through this system. So let me share my screen and kind of walk you guys through what I'm going to do. So the tools we're going to be using. So we're going to be using smartlead. So I'm choosing smartlead over instantly here. And I'm doing that on purpose because the API of smartlead is just a lot better. I love both tools. Both have great founders. It's good competition, I think. It's what got us those tools. That they were so good basically because of the competition. But smartlead's API is definitely better. So for a use case like this, I'll use them. And I set up one domain with an email inbox just now, so I have something to test with. And then I can scale up, basically once, when I want to scale up. Then I'm going to use Airtable. So I want to keep track of who replied to the initial email. And then I want to log everything and then log the AI reply as well. So, I also wanted to basically have the AI follow up. So if someone doesn't reply again, I want to have them follow up and just ask like, hey, try a different angle basically. And I'm using ChatGPT if I need it. Right here I got the smartlead API docs. So basically I'll use some of these endpoints to kind of see what's going on. And then I just got the whiteboard to explain to you guys, if I need to explain anything or make anything more clear. Without further ado, let's get started. So, basically, first thing, right, we want to do is we're gonna set up obviously an email campaign, and my writing sucks, so bear with me. So we're gonna be sending emails out to people, and then it's gonna be like a sequence. So it's gonna be multi-step, right? And then someone is gonna reply back. And that's kind of where we want our system to kick in, right? Usually when you have a VA or a team member reply, this is the points basically they will get alerted that there's a reply because they see it in their inbox or they see it in the master inbox. And then, you want to kind of have them, reply to the email. So in our case, it won't be going to an employee, but this is the first like entry into the Airtable. That's what the first thing we're going to build right now is whenever we get a new reply, we put it in the Airtable. And this will be our starting base. So to do this, we'll use a webhook, not the API, but a webhook. So webhook is basically, kind of like an API, but with an API, you ask the server like, hey, what's up? And with the webhook, it basically tells you when something happens. So it's perfect for things like an email reply where you don't know when it's going to happen. So you rather have the communication be the other way around, basically. So I call it LEAI because I wanted to give it a name. LEAI reply. I set up the webhook. Now we're going to go to make. So we're using make here over Zapier since Zapier will be just way too expensive. And yeah, Make is just all better for use cases like this. I think Zapier is nice for like payment notification or call books or whatever. But if you want to do anything serious, you want to get Make. Let me see. So we're gonna set up a webhook in Make to basically receive the reply signal. So let's say reply smartlead save, and then we're gonna copy this. So I won't blur anything out in this video, but what I'll do is I'll change these addresses because yeah, I know some people are gonna find that funny to mess with. So let's see. So we can choose the event type. So basically, when do we want Smartlead to tell Make that something happened? So we can do a lot of things, but in this case, obviously, we want to reply. And then the campaign name or clients, we just want it to be for everyone. This is actually a problem. So basically, in Smartlead, they have a restriction on the webhooks. I just remembered. And you need to set up a client. So what I'm just going to do is set up a client for myself, basically, and just be my own client. So the clients will be, in this case, let's say Cecilit. Let's just do info@com. Okay, create client. Create client. All right, now you guys see my password, so I'll need to also update that afterwards. All right, then let me actually pause for 1 second. All right, just had to write down what I need to change afterwards, otherwise my system will break if I forget. So now I created the client, so I can go back to the webhook section. So just go to my profile settings. Obviously, I also have to change the API key. Just writing it down on my phone. So we need to go to webhooks, add a webhook. Webhook name, so this is the reply. Then we want the URL again, and then email reply, and then we can select a client. So this is great because now any campaign that we start in this account, we just click this client. And the first client, I believe, is free, so it doesn't cost you any extra, and now you don't have to set it up like per campaign, which would be a pain. Send test webhook. So you always want to send a test, and basically the test is just a test. So it sends like sample data, but for Make, it automatically determines the structure. So it basically tells Make like what it should expect to receive, so what variables, etc. And it's super easy just to send a test. Otherwise, you have to import the JSON structure. So we want to add this, and then now basically whenever someone replies, we'll get it in Make, and we can go to the next step. So for this, I will also give it a good name. Reply received Smartlead. And now the first step we want to do is basically add it and log it in the Airtable. So what we want to do is create a record, create a connection, zero auth. Let me just set this up. Grant access. Now we can create a record. So I'll just select the base for now and then hit OK. Oh, I can't hit OK. I'll just leave it open. So yeah, let me just set this up. So in Airtable, I just made a new base, and I'll make the first table. I'll just call it emails for now. I don't know the exact structure yet, what I'm going to use, but for now, just call it emails. So this basically will be any email reply that we receive. So some variables I want to log is obviously the email from the person that replied. I want to get the campaign ID, so I know, and if I use any other automations, I know kind of what to look for. So this will be a number, but I found that sometimes it's a bit unreliable and it will mess up numbers, so I'll just use it as a text field to make it easier for myself. And then if I want to check myself, like what campaign is performing best, I can just do, let's say, campaign name as well. So this is for the computer and this is for me. Then let's say reply text will be a long text. What else do I need? Email. I'll also say replied to. So add in a column. So let's say they replied, like right now I only have one address obviously inside of smartlead, but if there's multiple, might be good for me to know kind of like which one they replied to. Maybe their name, right? Single line text. Their name could be good. Might want to have that here. Yeah, I'll just leave it for now, and then we can see if we missed anything. So I can go back into the make automation and see the base, the table, refresh it to get the new fields, and then I'll just fill them out. And as you can see here on the webhook, it already auto-populated all of the variables that we can expect from smartlead whenever the reply is received. So yeah, let me just figure this out. So email, we want to have the email of the prospect that's replying. So send message. So in this case, I suspect it's the from email, but obviously I'm not 100% sure because from could be both ways. So let's do it this way, from and to, and maybe we need to switch those around. So campaign ID, campaign name, and then just the text. Yeah, we want to get the reply message and not what we sent, which will also most likely be in the reply, but let's see what they pull out. Sequence number is actually something I would want to know as well. So this way we can later determine if it's worth like having the sequence being 4 steps or just 1 step. We can have that data in Airtable because we can actually see, for example, who purchased, which is more data that you can see in smartlead, and also if the reply is positive, since we're obviously going to be using AI. So I'll add that, and then apart from that, I think we're good. Yeah, so let me just add that. So I go back to this, add sequence step. For this, I'll actually use a number, so it's easier later to no decimals because there's no half step. Refresh. I'll use a number here because it's easier later if you want to do some data analysis to kind of see what's going on. So sequence number. All right, so yeah, that's kind of the first step. So now we have an automation where if someone replies, we get the information inside of the Airtable, which is obviously our first step, and that was the first thing we want to do with the whiteboard. Now, the next step would be obviously to determine if this is a positive reply or if it's a negative reply. And maybe we want to add some actions to that as well. So let me get the pen. So yeah, let's draw a line. And then, yeah, how would I describe this? Basically, we have to make a choice, right? So choice for the next action. I'll write this with text so you can actually read it. So we need to determine like what's the next thing that's going to happen here, right? We need to determine if it's positive or negative. That's one thing. And then within positive, we obviously have different kind of branches, and within negative as well. So with this is just a bit of experience. So if you've run any sort of email campaign, you know kind of what kind of categories there are. So let me just use the tag. So for negative, I'll just do not interested, interested, and then the other one is like unsubscribe. So if someone is not interested, just reply like not interested or not now or whatever. We can just mark them as not interested, and in this case, that's enough. So we don't really have to do anything else, and we can use them later on. If they request to be like removed from the list, or if they basically indicate they really want to be unsubscribed, it's obviously best practice to unsubscribe them, right? If you want to be compliant. And also this is better for you because people that really want to unsubscribe, if they then get a message from you again later on, very likely to press spam, apart from obviously the compliance reasons, which is the main reason you should do it. But if that doesn't bother you too much, it's also better just for you because they will be marking you as spam or leaving bad reviews or whatever. So always keep track of your unsubscribe list. Not interested, like I said, no real action. And then, so for the positive ones, what we want to do, let's say someone is just like interested. So in this case, obviously we're promoting a SaaS. So it's probably someone that's going to be interested and it's going to be like, yeah, they're interested because they want to try it out. My call to action would probably be something like, hey, want to give it a try. So yeah, we have to probably tweak the system a little bit once we actually start running the campaign to really see like what the different categories are. But let's just say interested. They want some more info, or they refer us. Refer. Can I think of anything else? Usually what I include within my agency as well is people that say, hey, not interested right now, reach out later. So yeah, let me actually just do that as well. Where is my thing? So let's do later, so we can maybe automatically schedule follow-up. That'd be cool. Not interested, unsubscribe. Interested, more information, refer later. And then maybe what I can also do is like autoresponders and stuff. So I can make another branch here, and we do out of office, right? I'm from Europe, so we got a lot of those with the lead gen agency. So yeah, it would be good to maybe automatically follow up, right? So yeah, this is the first step. So I think what I want to do is just determine first, like if it's either positive, negative, or out of office, because I don't want to give my AI model like too many choices at first. So it'd be easier for the model to make a choice between positive, negative, or out of office. And then once it knows it's actually positive, we can have another prompt run and kind of see, yeah, which like subcategory, so to say, it is. And then for out of office, what I want to do, let me also draw that on this right away, is then kind of determine and then re-engage. All right, so this is what we're going to do first. So with this system, I'll probably make it a bit more like modular than it needs to be. So what I mean by that is I'll just save this as one of the automations. And in theory, I could also like add all of the steps obviously into one single sequence. But I'll keep it separate just for like, if you want to build this as well, it'll be a bit easier to follow. And also what I found, if there's errors, it's a bit easier. And yeah, just for the video, I think it's more nice, but in theory, you could all build it into one single automation. So let's just turn this on. So whenever, right, just as a recap, whenever someone replies to our smart lead campaign, now we'll have a record in Airtable. So going back to scenarios, and a new scenario, we'll do the next step. So what we need to do is right? We have these replies and we need to categorize them. So what I'll do is I'll call this sentiment, and then I'll do like a single select field, right? Because you can only have one single type of sentiment. You can't be and positive and negative. So I'll be positive, negative, and then out of office, right? And then we give them a nice color just so we can easily see how everything's going. Negative, out of office. Yeah, create field. Then what I'll do actually, so this is the way I like to set this up, is I like to set it up where it's in the Airtable. Basically, if a field is missing a certain value, it gets added to a view, and the view has the conditions that it's missing that value. So you basically get a database where if a record matches a certain type of condition, I'll set makeup to check every 5 minutes if there's anyone matching that condition, and then it's gonna take an action. So yeah, it's kind of similar maybe to like cron jobs or whatever in programming, but obviously I'm doing it in no code, so it's a bit different. But I found that this works really well if you have a big system, because everything is modular, like I said before, right? That's why I'm doing the different automations as well. So in this case, that means we're basically going to add a view where if a record is in there, it's sort of a to-do for this automation, so to say. So what I'll do is I'll call it need sentiment, and I'm sure there's other ways to do this as well. So yeah, this is just my way and it works well. So yeah, I'll call this automation LEAI add sentiment. Then I'll do Airtable, and then I'll do search record. And as you can see, so with make, you can have it set up where it checks every X intervals. You can do, for example, every 5 minutes. You could do every 1 minute. You could also do the trigger, but what I found is that the trigger, so basically where you say like, oh, if it enters a new view, just do it right away. I found that's not really reliable for some reason. So I'm not 100% sure why. It is more reliable with Zapier, but with Make, for some reason, it's not really reliable. So I just like to do it this way, just every 5 minutes, just check. I mean, operations in Make are cheap. Like with my agency, we run at 500,000 automations. Operations. So that's like one step in an automation a month for like $300. So it's, yeah, almost negligible in terms of cost. So yeah, that's what I do. So I'll just do every 5 minutes. I'm on the free plan, I was saying. I was thinking, okay, so I'll keep it at 15 minutes since I'm on the free plan. I'll upgrade this later on. But yeah, so you can put it at like 5 minutes, or you can put it if you want to really save the operations, which again, they're very cheap. It will save you like $2 a month, but you can also set it up where it's like only during working hours when you expect replies or whatever, right? You can be a bit more frugal if you want to. Yeah, I just want to reply as quickly as possible, so I'll probably put this at like 1 minute. And then, yeah, just have to check every 1 minute if there is a email that needs a sentiment analysis. So let me actually set that up here. So I'll add the condition here, as you can see. So when the sentiment is empty, it means it has no sentiment, so we don't know if it's positive, negative, or out of office. Then it needs sentiment. So yeah, we set it up like that. We say search records in the base, in the table emails, in the view needs sentiment. And then for now, I'll just do one at a time. So I'm aware you can also do this with formulas, but I like views because let's say your system is not working. or you have team members that are not too technical or whatever, you can like kind of see and visualize the workflow you built and where it gets stuck or where maybe mistakes are. So yeah, that's basically it. So we search and then we need to add OpenAI. So we'll be using OpenAI to classify, which I think is just the easiest. I'll probably use GPT-4 actually, because I don't really care about the extra cost, and it's probably worth it in terms of like how good it is. So yeah, I'll probably use GPT-4. I'll just pause the video for a bit because I realized I haven't set up the OpenAI account yet. So I'll just set up an OpenAI account and then create the connection and then Alright, so I just set up the OpenAI account. So if you don't know how to do this, you need to go, I think, to platform.openai.com and create a developer's account there. And then you will be able to get, you'll be able to get an API key from the menu and then click API keys. And I won't show you, but it will be easy to get it from there. And then you can basically use, the API to make API calls and use AI inside of make. So I added it here to the make account, and yeah, we were doing the sentiment. So what I want to do is create a chat completion. So you have two options here. This is the old model, so you want to have the new model. And then I'll just use, let's say, GPT-4 Turbo. Max tokens, that's fine. So here you have different roles. So you have system, user, and assistant. So system is basically like a prompt. So if you wanna, you kind of want to describe what the system should do. So yeah, what it should do. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it any better. So basically, you want to say here, you are an email classifier. Your job is to determine based on the input if the message, or let's say the email, is positive, negative, or out of office. Let's say your job is to determine based on the input if the, let's say, the sender of the email is positive, negative, or out of office. So I'll say positive. They ask a question about the product, or say something related to interested, negative. They want to be unsubscribed, right? Unsubscribed. And let's say out of office, they send an auto responder indicating, checking now I'm recording, they send auto responder indicating they are not in the office or on vacation. Let's just make it more clear. Only output the category name, positive, negative, so out of office. Actually, I'll do this in caps, and then I'll remove the basically remove the what's it called, capital letter. So yeah, let's go back here, and then obviously want to match it with this. So I'll just match the exact, because this is something that's easy to mess up. So just make sure it's the exact same. So it's easy with the automation. It can obviously also be different, but then you would have to map the options, right? Like if it says this, it needs to be this, blah, blah. It's more complicated, just something like this. And you can use a prompt like this Yeah, just to do super simple classification. And then we're using GPT-4 because it's just a little bit more smart. Yeah, you can also use cheaper models, but yeah, I mean, let's say we're getting 100 replies a day. It's like a couple bucks extra. It's not really worth losing leads over. So yeah, just get the best model. Alternatively, you can fine-tune a model. So if you have a lot of existing data, and this is what we actually did over at my agency. So if you have a lot of existing data on inbox management, so you always have different kinds of responses, or maybe you were using subsequences. If you already have data, you can fine-tune a model, which basically means if this is the input, then I want this output, and you train the model on that. And then, yeah, you give it new input, and then it already kind of knows, yeah, it basically learned what to do, right? Like similar how we as humans learn, it learned what to do. And yeah, you can have a super nice custom model. So we did this over at our agency, but for this use case, it's a new company, so I don't have any data yet. So for now, this will have to do. And then, yeah, another role you can set. So you can say user, so that's us. And we basically just want to input the email, and that's it. And then in case you have not a lot of data, but just a couple data points, and you want it to be a little bit more smart, you could actually like give it some history. So user, and then what the output should be, and then do that a couple of times. So it's not fine tuning, but it's giving the context in the prompt. Can work well, again, depending on your use case. For this use case, I think will be good to go, just user, and that's it. So I'll press OK, and then just to see if it kind of gets our gist, I'll type, or I actually did the wrong field, I see. I said email, but email is the address, so we need to have the reply text. That's a good one. So just to test the step, you can say right click and then test this module, or run this module, and then say reply, sounds interesting. Do you have a demo? I don't know, something like this could be a reply. And then it runs, and we can see what the completion would be. So it's in choices, one message, and then it did it perfectly. So positive, that's what we want. So Airtable, what we're going to do is then update the record, because we want to update the sentiment value inside of the Airtable, remember? So we want to have this field updated. We don't want to create a new row or a different table. No, we want to have it in the same one. So you say update record in the LEAI base, table, record ID. So this will be from the first step, right? So we know which record to update. So it finds a record that has a unique ID, and we just update it with that ID. And then all of the fields we can leave empty, and the only thing we want to do is sentiment. And then we say choices. So you can actually have multiple choice, but we just have one. And then message, role, and just the content. And then that's fine. And yeah, that's basically it. So then we say awk, save, auto align. Let's do a test. So let's say test at test.com replied to info at us, not US, but us. Their name. So we didn't actually get this data, so I could just delete this field, but let's leave it in for now. Maybe we update it later. I don't know, the campaign ID, campaign name, first campaign. Sequence step, they replied to our first message because we are great at copywriting. And then they said, not sure about this. Do you have a demo we can watch? Actually interesting to see if this will work well. Let's go back here, and then we say run once. And as you can see, it found the record because it didn't have sentiment. It analyzed it, and then it updated the record, and we can see the output. So yeah, the sentiment is positive, so it understood correctly. And this is also one big benefit of using GPT-4. With 3.5, it might have said like not sure. It might have said negative because of the not sure. But yeah, they understand, and positive. So now we have the labeling system done. So going back to our overview board, yeah, we have positive, negative, and out of office. Let's actually test out of office before I conclude this video, just by going here. And then what I'll do is just duplicate this, and then here I'm out of office until 5th of April. I don't know. And then we put this empty, so it needs sentiment, and then when this runs, it will be filled out, and the sentiment will be out of office, so it works. Cool. So yeah, we're done with this part, and then we'll go on to the next part. So interested, more information, referral, later, unsubscribe. I'll go through all of these. So yeah, maybe this is a good point to conclude the video for now. So this is the first step. So we now have sentiment analysis built in into Airtable with our smartlead account on every single reply. And yeah, this is kind of the first building block we have to go from here and see what we can do. So if you have ideas on what you want the reply bots to do, so maybe you wanted to visit their website before actually replying, or if you want their LinkedIn information before replying, I don't know, just some ideas I have, let me know, and I can also build that into it. And yeah, we'll just be discussing basically in the next videos, like all of these different steps I'll go through and kind of set up or show you and set up yeah, everything on what the next action should be. So if you have ideas for this, let me know. And yeah, if you like this content, please subscribe, please like, leave a comment, really helps. I just started this channel, or I started a while back, but I just started re-uploading on this channel. Just hit 500 subscribers. Thank you for that, by the way. And yeah, really looking forward to blowing up this channel and yeah, helping you guys with this automation, helping you guys with AI to become better agency owners, get more leads, close more deals, have happier clients, and yeah, that's basically it. In the description down below, you'll see my links. If you want to set any of this up, use my links. I'll get an affiliate commission. That would be great, obviously. And also subscribe to the newsletter and any of my other stuff in the description. And I'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.